Hi, my name is Bernice Liu and I'm from Hong Kong. I'm a level 4 student. Well, over 10 years ago, I was filming a movie in Vancouver and we got snowed in 2008. So a few of us took a trip down to Napa Valley. I never really knew anything about wine back then. But that trip, I guess, it really exposed not just the history and the fairy tale relationship, 1970s, small wineries coming up, and I guess the romantic stories behind it. But what it did spark up in me, I guess, was the chemistry behind winemaking. I was only there for a couple days and then went back to filming. I then came back to Hong Kong, and because it left such an impression on me, I started to Google and search about not just putting a label on the wine, but the actual winemaking process of it. And that, I guess, really excited me because of my my pre-med background and my love for chemistry. Bellavizio started, I guess, after a couple of years because you don't really have to brand or label your wines until probably the third year in. And because of how I started my wine passion and my wine journey, I decided to call it Bellavizio, which meant beautiful mistake. And I didn't really want to call it Bella Ejo because it's hard to say for a lot of people. And at the time, the character that I was shooting was called Vice in King of Fighters, which was the movie that I was shooting in 2008. So then that became how the name became to be. So over the first few years, I would fly back and forth from Hong Kong to Bordeaux, probably what turned from once a year to about 3 to 4 times a year. And I would still go back to Napa as well. The fact that blending your own wine at first, but then actually going down to the vineyards and being a part of the harvest and watching families and actually picking berries and actually putting berries into the barrel one by one. I mean, it took us over 9 hours to fill one barrel, and that barrel obviously is for the charity. It taught me a lot. It brought me very close to culture, and it reminds me so much of family. Because I didn't know anything about wine. And when there's so many cultured people here, they started to ask me questions about my wine and how it tastes and the language. And instead of being embarrassed and being quiet about it, I wanted to equip myself with the right tools. And so I went to go learn about it. I went to look up where I could get level 1. In the entertainment industry in Hong Kong, it was very difficult at first to go to an open class because, it's quite open. But it was really cool that the people that I met and the other students that were in my class were they let me study and they let me be who I was. So I actually really enjoy my wine friends and my wine community because it gave me almost a sense of like a place where I could breathe. And after I took the first exam, I very quickly took the second one. It just so happened the time, I had available and I was in between shoots. Then when I went on to take level 3, that took a little bit longer. But the challenge is always there, and I love a good challenge. I think that taking level 1, 2, and 3, other than educating myself and learning the wine language, it really helps in social settings. I believe that food and wine is now, a cultural thing, and it's not just something separate. That I think a little bit of education in this area can enrich our dining experiences. And I think that with the friends I have and even watching different interactions, it does bring on more conversation. It makes the meal much more enjoyable, if not more complimentary. With level 4, I know that it's going to be a lot more challenging. It's about learning, the whole hashtag of never stop learning, and also being able to share what I learned and test it. I mean, it's always about testing to see if it's actually true, right? I can understand why people who are involved in wine are not involved in it for 1 or 2 years. You're involved in it forever. And I think that was one thing that really attracted me about wine, and that you'll never learn everything about it. It's literally a forever, never-ending process of learning. And that brings out conversations no matter if you're having dinner. It also brings out education, especially now where we can find so much information online, but at the same time there's also a lot of discipline, which I like about it as well. I think that anybody who enjoys wining and dining would benefit from level 1 and 2, especially because it kind of touches on every subject and every topic that surrounds wine and the general knowledge of it. And for those that are excited about it and want to learn more about geography and area and terroir, for instance, definitely would take level 2 with no question about it, because level 2 just came naturally, in a sense that wherever you go, it'll be recognized. And I think that's one of the most important things for somebody like me. I really love a nice glass of wine. I know that being in Hong Kong, it's very humid, it's very hot, and everybody would say, I want a glass of champagne, or I want a glass of cold white, or some kind of cold cocktail. For me, wine is almost like a comfort food. It's like my soul food. I need a nice glass of French wine that's very well-rounded. I'm not gonna say brands, but you know, I love a good Merlot. I love well-vintaged wines, because to me I love smelling. I love the aromas of age. I love closing my eyes because it reminds me of my days in Bordeaux. Like when I go back there, I think I go back there just, it brings me back home. After you've been really busy for a long period of time, like a few months, because when I go away to shoot, it's, you know, 3 months or maybe 8 months. And it's a constant schedule, 37-hour days. I just want to say thank you very much for having me and asking me these few questions. Okay, that's all. Okay, thank you.